So, this week I have a quiz for you. Now, what does a John le Carré book, the TV series Friends, and the movie The Lion King have in common? What springs to mind? What is the common denominator? Do you want to press pause and think about it? Or do you see the immediate connection? Maybe you don't, but there is an immediate connection. And here it is. They are all created, written, or whatever you want to call it, using the same dramatic template. And that template is something called a drama triangle. And a drama triangle is something you learn when you learn script writing and that sort of thing. A drama triangle is a key to creating a captivating story. A story that stirs people's emotions and gets them hooked on the plot or whatever it is you want to call it. Drama triangles, however, never produce any tangible results. They just produce a lot of emotional heat, if you like. And what I want to discuss this week is that every time we go below the line with our feeling of being right, we also automatically start a drama triangle. And that is really not very helpful. This is the fourth video or blog post in my series around leadership skills and how do we actually create followership. And in exploring this notion of how to create followership and how we become great team leaders, we're using a very simple but very powerful model that I call above the line and below the line. And you may need to go back to one of the previous or the first blog posts in this series in order to get the full explanation on that. But briefly, above the line, we are constructive, we are positive, we are cooperative, we are open to solutions. Below the line, we are closed, defensive, and not very cooperative. And so obviously below the line, we don't create a lot of followership, and that is the whole problem with that. And the bigger problem with that is that we much more often than we realize operate from below the line, and it does a lot of damage that we're not even aware of. So let's move on to exploring how the drama triangles trap us again below the line. So let me just explain to you the principle of the drama triangle. So if you take a course in how to write a novel or a thriller or screenplay for Hollywood or whatever it is, then they will introduce you to the concept of the drama triangle, because it is the template that nearly everyone uses the whole time in order to create a captivating story. And in order for us to have a captivating story, we need a victim, somebody who gets hurt, gets persecuted, something happens to. And in order for us to have a victim, we of course need a villain, somebody who does something terrible. And then in order to save the day, we need a hero. So when we have these three elements, then we have the basic elements of a good story. And whether it's a James Bond story or The Lion King or Friends or whatever it is, if you start observing what's going on, then you can quickly identify these three archetypical roles that some of the participants will play. And if it's a really good and well-written drama, then the author will suddenly switch the roles. So suddenly the villain becomes the hero and the victim becomes the villain, and it switches around. And the more it switches around, and that's what it does in any TV series or book that really catches you, they switch roles. And that sucks you into the drama and keeps you week after week watching the same Netflix series or whatever it is. It's very, very powerful when it's done well. Those of you that have gray hairs like me may remember Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor playing in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And that is exactly 2 hours of the drama triangle, switching and playing and dancing and switching and playing. And there's no solution. That's the whole problem. Or that's the whole issue in this. It's just piping hot emotions steaming out of everywhere, but there are no actual solutions coming forward. It just switches and switches and switches, and it sucks us in because it touches us emotionally and we take sides or whatever it is that we do. So this is fine if we are writing for Hollywood. The problem is when we take the drama triangles into our day-to-day relationships with other people, because that is very little helpful. That doesn't work at all because it doesn't create any solutions. It only creates an enormous amount of frustrated emotions. So when you go below the mindset, when you are triggered by your feeling of being right, which is one of the typical ways that we suddenly slip below the line and we get triggered into being in this more defensive, closed mode, you automatically also start off in a drama triangle because you will pick one of the three roles for yourself. You will choose to see yourself as the victim. Nobody understands me. I'm fighting for what is right and they don't understand it, and you get upset that way. Or you take the villain role. All these people are bloody idiots and they should listen to me or whatever it is, and you take that role. Or you take the hero role. I'm going to save them. They need helping. I need to show them that they have misunderstood the world and I know everything. But it doesn't matter. You're still taking the role. And whenever you initiate a drama triangle, then you automatically, unless the others are very astute, you automatically trigger the others to pick one of the other roles, or you assign one of the other roles to the others, and then the show begins. And you start a drama triangle and you develop a drama. There's no solution. There's just emotions. And you can see this again and again, and this plays out. If you take it a step further and look at your boss or your relationship with maybe some of your friends, or when you come home in the evening, criticize the kids for leaving their toys out or doing this and that, then you are in the villain role. They are going to be the victims, and then mum comes around the corner and says, no, they've had a very busy day, and then she's there, and off we go. We've started another drama triangle. So not many of us are awareness again, how these drama triangles actually play out in our lives the whole time. But they keep on coming up, and they keep on interfering in the relationships that we have with us, because relationships with other people that are based on drama triangles are basically just toxic. And that is not a helpful mode to be in. So some team leaders fall into the trap of playing drama triangle every day. First they criticize people, and then when they've criticized them for not doing things right, then they choose the role of being hero. No, let me help you, I'll protect you, I'll do it. Or then they suddenly go victim, and they say, oh yeah, but you see, my boss is always criticizing me and telling me we're not doing enough, that's why I have to do it this way. And then he wants the others to play the hero and say, oh, we feel sorry for you, little team leader, that you're being so. It goes on and on and on and on. No? And so there's only one way to really stop the drama triangle. First of all, you need to be aware of it. And secondly, somebody needs to ask the question, hopefully yourself, as soon as you feel yourself you're in it. But otherwise, when you hear other people starting off a drama triangle, you need to stop the game by asking a very simple question. I wonder whether we could find a solution to that. I wonder how we could create something that would be different, that would fix this once and for all. I wonder how you could help me see that or understand that differently. And immediately when we use the magic phrase, I wonder, like we talked about in my previous blog post, then we move back again above the line. We're open, we're not defensive, we're not feeling persecuted, and we are, more important than anything else, we are refusing to play the game called drama triangles. Because we realize that it is not going to get us anywhere. So I invite you to this week notice how many drama triangles you can pick up happening around you, in your team, in your work environment. Clients play drama triangles with us as well. They attack us, they play victim, they play heroes. They do the same thing. They try and draw us into a drama. And the only way, again, is to ask the key questions, to break out of the drama and decline the invitation to be part of that dance or that game. So try and observe the people around you this week. Notice how many drama triangles you can identify and start practicing breaking the pattern by being constructive and looking for solutions and outcomes instead of masses of steaming hot emotions which are not going to solve anything. Next week, I'm going to talk a little bit more. I'm going to explore and unfold for you a little bit more what else belongs to these roles and how easily we get trapped in these 4 roles of being the victim, the villain, or the hero, because we all do it from time to time. So I'll be diving into that a little bit deeper next week. I look forward to seeing you again. And as always, if you have any comments or ideas or questions, I would, as always, love to hear from you. Until next week, bye-bye for now.